Maryland's Missing and the Murdered is a weekly YouTube channel that covers the topic of missing and or murdered individuals from the state of Maryland. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified when the next cases are released. 31-year-old John Hickey was a volunteer fireman in Woodlawn, Maryland. He had recently been accepted into the Baltimore Fire Academy and was excited about it. He had also bought an apartment in Fells Point, Maryland on Pratt Street. Sometime in 2017, John met a woman named Jennifer McKay and they began dating. John's mom and fellow firefighters heard all about Jennifer. John and Jennifer, though, was getting harassing calls. And John's dog suddenly died, which John suspected was a deliberate poisoning. During a weekend at Jennifer's house, someone tampered with John's car brakes. John immediately knew something was wrong with his car and discovered that the brakes were cut. On November 30th, 2015, Baltimore City Police received a call requesting a welfare check at John's apartment. When they arrived, Jennifer McKay was outside and tells them that John did not show up for a date they had the previous day. His car was outside, but he wasn't answering the door. The police got in touch with the landlord, who arrived to let them into the first floor apartment. Inside, the police discovered John laying on a sofa with his hands folded. He had been shot in the forehead and was deceased. John's bedroom was in disarray. However, none of John's expensive technology was missing. This led police to believe that it was a staged robbery. All the doors were locked, so police surmised that the suspect came through one of the windows. A camera in the back of the house pointed at John's door, so police obtained the footage, and a man was captured entering John's window at 1:56 a.m. And then you see the man leave out of John's door with a gun in hand at 2:39 a.m. Hours after the discovery of John Hickey's body, police interviewed Jennifer McKay. She told them that she and John were only together a short time, but they were in love. The police told her that she would need to be ruled out as a suspect, so they looked at her phone records. Police found that she had made a phone call after she had called police. The phone call was to a man named Daniel Green. When police asked her who Daniel was and why she called him, she responded that she called him for advice and that he was her ex-boyfriend. She also explained that Dan was a retired firefighter, married to another woman named Jennifer, and had children. Jennifer McKay tells police that she had known Daniel Green since childhood, and she had dated him for 4 years prior to dating John. McKay also stated that she knew Green was married with children, but thought that him and his wife were divorced. When she realized that Daniel would not commit to her, she dumped him. This was 3 months before John's murder. After the breakup, McKay would still talk to Daniel Green, even talking to him about her new boyfriend, John. When police showed McKay the video from the alleyway camera, McKay got upset and revealed that the suspect looked like Daniel Green. Investigators began to look at Daniel Green as the murder suspect. Jen Green, Daniel's wife, sat for an interview with investigators and told them that in November 2016, Daniel took their daughter Maddie to an alleged football party. But when they got home and Jen was putting Maddie to bed, Maddie told her mother that they had went to Jennifer McKay's house for Thanksgiving dinner with her family. Jen confronted Daniel, who denied everything. So Jen stormed out of the house and headed to McKay's house. When Jen Green arrived, McKay admitted that Maddie was there as it was Daniel's custody weekend. Jen was bewildered by this, and as they continued to talk, McKay showed Jen fake divorce papers. Daniel had lied to both of them. So Jen Green ended the visit by telling McKay to stay away from her family. When Jen Green returned to her home, Daniel left to be with McKay. From there, Jen Green made Daniel sleep on the couch in the basement. Detectives eventually brought Daniel in for an interview on December 5th, 2017. When searching surveillance cameras on Pratt Street, they discovered a SUV that was very similar to Daniel Green's had been spotted going through John's neighborhood at the time of his death. Also discovered was Daniel's phone, which had been shut off during the time of the murder. During the interview, Daniel denied killing John. He admitted to having an affair with McKay, but denied loving her. When asked about an alibi, Daniel claimed his wife, Jen, was his alibi. So, investigators brought Jen Green back in for another interview. Jen tells them that Dan came into her bedroom the night of the murder. When they showed her footage of the suspect outside John's apartment, Jen Green said nothing. It was at that time Daniel Green was arrested for John Hickey's murder. During the trial prep, Daniel Green's attorney was hard at work. He got Jennifer McKay's identification of his client from the video thrown out, and even though Daniel's cell phone linked him to John's cut brake lines, the judge threw that evidence out as well. Then COVID hit the United States and the trial was postponed. In 2021, Jen Green called investigators for a meeting. She tells them that Dan's family pressured her to agree with the alibi, but when she saw the video of the suspect, she knew he had killed John Hickey. She comes clean that Dan was not with her the night of the murder, and it was during this time that Jen Green had filed for divorce. The Green family turned on Jen as they felt betrayed. They believed that Jen wanted everything in the divorce and was holding the alibi over his head. The state's attorney got the Maryland Supreme Court to overturn the decision to disallow McKay's identification on the video. The state's attorney did a forensic search on a laptop from the Green's house and found that Daniel had made searches on how to make untraceable calls and a search for John Hickey's address. When the trial began, the prosecution showed the video of the suspect that they believed to be Daniel Green outside of John's apartment, and then showed the video of Dan Green pacing back and forth in the interrogation room. Both videos showed pacing back and forth with hands in their pockets. That was when Green's attorney knew his case was in trouble. In addition, prosecutors learned that before he was arrested, Daniel Green was squatting in a vacant home near Jennifer McKay's house, and he was posing it as his bachelor pad. Inside the house was fake custody and fake divorce papers. The jurors deliberated for 3 hours. On June 23, 2023, Daniel Green was found guilty of first-degree murder. When he was to be sentenced, Daniel Green asked for a later date as he was having issues with his attorneys. When the judge agreed, the Hickey family got into an altercation with the Green family. On February 15, 2024, Daniel Green was sentenced to life in prison plus 20 years for the gun and home invasion charges. He is appealing his sentence. Thank you for joining me this week. If there's a Maryland missing or murdered case you'd like to see on this channel, email me at marylandsmissing@gmail.com. Twitter is Maryland's M&M. Music is by Silent Vengeance. Sources will be listed in the outro. I'll see you again next week. Be kind to one another. You never know what will happen tomorrow.